Hey everyone, welcome back to Seafood ID. I'm Chef Viverito. Today we've got this beautiful specimen of a fish called Mahi Mahi, which refers to its swimming ability, which technically means strong. You may hear it called Dorado, Dorado being golden when this fish is fresh out of the water, very gold belly, green and blue dorsal ridge. You notice a beautiful big long dorsal fin down the top, large anal fin. This has been headed and gutted. H&G would be your market form. This particular mahi or dolphin would be called a bull dolphin. It's a male. It's got a big square forehead as opposed to the cows or females, which have a gentle sloping forehead. Males have less yield per pound because of all the bone in their heads. I'm going to say that this would probably be my favorite fabrication technique. We don't do it often on campus, but it helps for you to see it. It's called the modified up and over, which if you've watched any of my bass videos or cod videos, you know what a regular up and over cut is. Today we're going to do this knife all with our flexible. This cuts all with our flexible knife. We're going to come behind the collarbone and we're going to cut all the way up into the head on this fish, just like an up and over. Release the fillet like an up and over. Swim the fish away from us and we're going to cut down, shallow cut down the dorsal, all the way from the head through the tail. And we're going to run our fingers in here, make sure we feel bone. If we're comfortable with it, we're going to cut until you hear that vibration of the spine. Those are very large vertebrae. If you're at the spine, I like to release the meat out of the head before I go any further. And then here's the modification. Swim the fish towards you, cut along along the anal fin, or on the ventral side, from the tail to the gut cavity. And then, once again, we're going to swim the fish this way, and we're going to carve in between each of the vertebrae to release the flesh, because if we don't do that, there's going to be about a pound or so of meat we lose behind. So we're just going to gently release it out of the vertebrae from the tail until we get to the stomach cavity. We know this is a stomach cavity because we see the rib cage. And we're going to open this up. We're going to come over the ribs, over the spine, through the pin bones to the rib cage, and then we're going to come up and over and out. Following those bones, we have this beautiful fillet which comes off this fish. You can see how deep these cavities are. You don't want to lose all that meat in between each of them. On side two, it's going to be the same technique. We're going to cut up into the head. We're going to start in the tail, just like an up and over, coming all the way down. Nice, deliberate slicing motions. Feel for your bones. If you miss any, get back on top of them until you get to the spine. If you've gotten to the spine, release the head flesh. And then, on this side, we're going to come on top of the anal fin. And we're just going to open the fish up from the vent to the tail. Release our flesh here. We carve in between the vertebrae this way. Just have to release the little membranes holding it. And once again, we're going to go from the tail to about the stomach area. I'm right-handed. I'm going to swim my fish to 10 o'clock, head towards 10 o'clock, and I'm going to go up and over. Before I do that, over my vertebrae, through my pin bone, I need to expose the rib cage and then cut away from myself. Flex down along the ribs and come out. Move up a little along the rib cage and out. Up top, along the rib cage and out. When we have our fillet off, we go in there. We take our spine and our carcass and we can get rid of it. Then double check for any ribs that may be left behind. If you have any, just cut them high side to low side, outside to inside, remove them. For pin boning, the fish will get swum towards you, and you will gently feel above the stomach cavity, brushing backwards, grabbing the pin bones with your pliers, and putting them on your hands. You do not want to lose sight of these. They're quite large, they're quite sharp, and they will do a lot of damage to somebody. So we're going to take these out one by one. If you choose not to do it that method, most people will skin their mahi. I don't think I've ever seen skin on mahi served, as beautiful as the skin is. And you would lay the fish on the edge of the table, and you would come into the tail and get your knife flexed down, and you would wiggle your knife and wiggle your skin and listen for that sound. I know I'm between the meat and the flesh, and I'm not leaving anything behind. And keep choking up behind your knife and come out. The skin can be discarded, and I think a lovely way to do mahi is many people will cut across the bloodline. Nothing wrong with that. I myself, if I'm above the rib cage, like to come north of the pin bones, and I trim this out. Then I've got this bloodline. I'm going to come south of the pin bones. And this I can cut into, take out my bloodline. I can cut that into portions for fish tacos. And up here, I can cut nice, beautiful, squared off pavés. So that's our mahi mahi. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing this on a grill, broiler, saute pan near you.